Hey everybody, and welcome back to Rathlin Island. You're in midwinter, day 4 to be exact, and as you can see, it is raining. Just checking on the growth of our soybeans. Apparently, this field is not quite ready. It's fine. It's raining, and well, we managed to actually get all of our hay baled yesterday and put away before the rain started. Rain started around 4:30 in the afternoon, and it only rained about, oh, I don't know, maybe about 2.5 hours, but it was long enough to get everything nice and wet and everything. And well, we were so focused on our hay yesterday that we did not care for our animals one bit. And well, as you see, sheep are kind of hungry. They have run out of food in its entirety. So we have quite a bit of work to do today to get our animals back up to where we want them to be. See, our cows are kind of in the red there. They're not overly happy because they ran out of power food. They ran out of grass. I think they pretty much ran out of everything. As did our sheep. We have quite a bit of feeding to do. You know what? We might as well get our water trough started. Oh. Gotta love the water trough add-on mod. That is some fabulous kit there. Not too hard to install either, as long as you are careful and deliberate with what you're doing. So we got about 20 got about 31 bales off of the grass field behind us yesterday. They are basically stored here. We had one hay bale left in there for our sheep, so I'm going to use a fair number of those bales. Let's see if we can do this. Mono person. Not. So 875 sheep take a fair bit of hay every 3 days. We're going to feed probably most of this hay in here. So today's episode is just going to be all about animal care. It's something that we need to do pretty much every 2 to 2.5 days. Want to keep animals, which are fairly good for providing a steady income. But not a lot has happened since I last talked to you guys. In fact, I'm actually recording this the same day, so clearly there's not been a lot of chance for late-breaking Farm Sim news. You can pre-order Farm Sim 19 on Amazon now and on Giant's website. So far, you cannot order pre-order Farm Sim on Steam. And I'm kind of wondering if, if maybe I'm going to kind of hold off on pre-ordering just for a little bit. Just to see if they, you know, there was some leaked images of what looked like a collector's edition released that included some stuff that would be rather interesting. So I'm a little curious on that, because if I look on Amazon, there's a collector's edition Farm Sim 17. There isn't a listing yet for the collector's edition of Farm Sim 19. Not really sure if that's even available yet, or if that was what the deal with that was. So, kind of holding off a little bit. I mean, is no award for the first to pre-order or anything like that. So, no super big incentive. But I would say that if you have enjoyed 17, there is absolutely no reason why you would not enjoy 19 at this point with everything that has been announced. Let's just see, where are we? Halfway yet with our hay for our sheep? Oh, goody, we're almost done. Let's see if they'll take 2 bales. Alright, they're basically full. Let's head on down to the let's see, can I hook this up? If I was lined up right. So I can hook that up. Good deal, because you need to take and swap out these for bale spikes, pallet spikes. Because I want to, we need to take a load to the, we need to take some pallets over across to mainland from our greenhouses. Now it's raining, so let's talk about rain in Farm Sim 19. So, it has been rumored that Giants is about 90% of the way there with respect to being able to eliminate the rain from falling through the roofs of our buildings and into the cabs of our tractors. That's amazing. I mean, we've got ATS, it rains on the windshield, and we got raindrops and wipers work. Cattle and Crops has that, where it rains and there's actually a line of there you can see our silage bale haul off of that field. We still have to bring it in. Cattle Crops has it when it rains. There's an actual line on the ground that is the roof, where it's wet from not being from the roof not protecting the ground. So to be able to actually have it not rain inside would be amazing. In fact, having it not have the little flowers or whatever that fly through the air Not having them in the building would be cool too. You know, just saying. So, so they're 90% of the way there. So let's hope they get 100% of the way there, because that would be so cool. You know, actually, not have it rain inside. That'd be so nice. So, what else we got going on here? The Hofbergman multiplayer map is quite a success, I think, with the folks that are playing on it. Seems like there's folks on there fairly regular throughout the day and in the evening. I am thinking now that production maps is where economy gameplay really needs to be, from the standpoint of, you know, just stuff to do. Economy gameplay with respect to like normal farming is okay and all, but you know, there's a fair bit of time that goes by with seasons play when there's nothing to do. So being able to have production and everything to where constantly stuff to do is rather beneficial for the economy gameplay, because of that that steady source of money for your farmers that are playing that game style. Let's see what's here. Perfect. These New Hollands I've found with that rear weight. You can raise that rear weight way up there. It doesn't interfere with your trailer attachments. It's really, really great. It's me too. Hard time steering though. Let's see here. There we go. Let's see how bad off our cows were. Oh my. Pretty much have nothing. All here. At least another batch of power food. Get them at least one, probably 2 bales of straw. And we're going to have to get our lawnmower out here. And, well, we're going to have to put on our raincoat, because we're going to be mowing in the rain, I guess. But we actually had to turn Seasons off on the Hofbergman map. Turns out that Seasons was having a problem with Hofbergman in multiplayer mode. That was that. Well, I'm thinking it is more along the lines of the multiple animals seasons, because we didn't really have a problem until we started buying animals that were different on Hofbergman. So we had a player who owns the cow farm. He bought cows a while ago, and we didn't really see a problem with it. Server ran just fine and dandy, just like it should. Then, let's get this off here. Then, we had a player who owned the cow farm, or not the cow farm, the pig farm. Went and, all right, silage bale. 2 straw bales, another silage, or hay bale. That's our mix. Well, the guy that owns the pig farm went and bought pigs. Nothing wrong with that. And boom, server crash. People would get in and they would have this weird thing going on with their PDA map. It would just look weird. And most of the vehicles were gone from the map and everything. So, stored a save and got everything back. And I tried to figure out what was different. I was thinking it was probably a bad mod. A bad vehicle mod that somebody bought that was corrupting the save game. And so we went through lots of iterations of stuff. Didn't really see what happened, so we kind of hoped that maybe it was a fluke. Wishful thinking there, right? It's happened once, it won't happen again, no. So later that day, same thing happened. Bam! Crash. And what we discovered was... Well, what we later discovered was that a player who owns the Zebu, the different cows, he came in and bought some Zebu. Okay. What's that one? And boom, game problems. Right. So then, rolled back to save. Again, we hadn't figured it out yet. Okay, so I rolled back to save. 1 hour. Okay. There was only an hour difference between a bad save game and a perfectly fine save game. I looked through that 4,500 lines of code between both. It's 9,000 lines of code between both save game vehicle XML files, trying to find what was different that broke it. There was a lot that was different. Most of what was different was little piddly things like vehicle wheel positions, or in one save things were on a trailer, and in another save the things that were on the trailer were down on the ground, things like that. But the guy that owns the Zebu, in one save game he had one Zebu. That was the one that was not broke. In the game that was broke, he had 15 Zebu. So, off to the drawing board. Then, I'm on a live stream, and I buy some ponies. Okay? And then later, the guy who owns the Zebu comes on the server, and I ask him, hey, is the map image messed up for you? And he looked, and it was. So it's like, you know what, 3 times the charm? I think I found a trend here. So we, after the stream, turned seasons off. And presto, the game that was messed up was not messed up anymore. Oops. Straw, we're going to get 2. Go. So we're running Hoff Bergman now without seasons. It's running just fine and dandy. We're actually going to try to run a what I call pseudo seasons, where we kind of put some artificial limitations to ourselves to restrict when we can do certain things, as if we were playing a seasons gameplay. That's just to keep people from, without seasons, with the clock speed that we're running, we could probably end up planting our crops today and coming back tomorrow and harvesting, because we're running a clock speed that's somewhere around 1.5, 1.7 speed. I've got a custom clock script in there, similar to the custom clock mod that has recently come out in the mod hub, but it's running at a fraction of 2x speed, and the purpose is basically so that we can move the game along at something faster than 1x, but also so that folks that get in that can only get in at certain times of the day are able to get in, and it won't always be nighttime. It won't always be mid-morning or something. They'll be able to get in at different times of the day. That seems to be working out fairly well. Okay. So all we need to do now is water them and get them a little bit of gas. Gonna run into each other, or he's just gonna turn around. Okay. I know you want some grass, don't you? Well, I'm gonna get it for you. Give me a minute. I'm gonna go get the lawnmower now. Okay. I didn't think to check the other soybean field. I suspect if one's not ready, the other is not ready. But let's just check here. Nope, both growing still. It's going to be late autumn before they're ready. And well, we got day 7. First day of late autumn is sunny. It's the best time to get in there and do that. Probably going to we're going to do some field work tomorrow. It dries out, and see if we can't get that field those wheat, barley fields cultivated. Get them ready for planting. Up to our water trailer here. Let's get put on our raincoat here and start to mowing some grass. So like I said, we're probably going to cultivate up 4 as well as 5 and our wheat fields, them all cultivated, ready to go. Don't know if we're going to have a chance to get any grain in the ground, any seed in the ground this autumn, or if we're just going to prep our fields and get them all ready for spring. The big concern is, like last year, we had pretty cold summer or winter, and as a result of the cold winter, it took us a while to get the ground thawed out. Spring to get crops in the ground. It took us a while to get that ground temperature up. So getting the seed in the ground this winter definitely give us a leg up on preparing for that. So far, the first day of winter there in the forecast doesn't look all that bad. So might be okay for winter this year. There's a whole lot of winter that's not showing up. 2 days of winter there. Second day is a high of 38, low of 33. That's like a heat wave. We will have a mild winter. Maybe not. It's looking like maybe we aren't going to be able to do our field work on our soybean fields until maybe winter time. Those cultivated up and fertilized, which we can do during winter as long as the ground isn't frozen. They're very cows that are very even keeled. They don't spook very much. We're able to just mow right by them and not run risk of them getting spooked. Think they know where their food comes from. They realize that this machine that's in here with them, I think they know that it feeds them. They're not going to get overly excited around it, other than maybe wanting to follow it around, wondering when it's going to drop the food. So since we were completely out of grass, we're going to need to fill this thing up and probably come back and mow a little bit more. Get a little bit more in the hopper. We'll try not to drive through our cows. Hey guys, let me know in the comments what's the feature that you're most excited about now that we've got some confirmed new features at FS17. What are some of the things that have come out as an official announcements that you are most excited about? That would be pretty interesting to hear. Yeah, I'm kind of excited at the same time, hesitant to be excited, apprehensive, maybe that's what it is, cautious on the ability to build your own farm and design your own farmland or farm area. I'm excited for the fact that it means that everyone won't be, you know, your experience on one of the base maps would be and could be completely different than other players' experiences on the map, because you're going to pick a different spot probably than they would have. Or even if you do pick the same general area, it's likely that you're going to lay things out different. You're going to have a different building configuration, maybe completely different buildings themselves, such that you really make the farm and the map a life of its own you have built. So that excites me. It lets me expect that, you know, we're gonna, as a community, we're gonna be sharing our farms with each other. Look at the farm I built. It could be just as popular with just starting a map just for the purpose of putting down buildings and seeing what kind of interesting farm arrangement you can design, as it would be actually playing the game. The part about it that makes me anxious, is the exact same thing. The designing your own farm. I don't consider myself very artistic or thoughtful with respect to designing things. The idea of every map conceivably having a blank slate that I have to go and figure out how to what I want to do as far as designing a farm setup. I'm a little concerned that what I'm worried about is every farm I end up building will be the same farm, and it'd be like, oh, the last thing I want is it to be like, oh, different map, same farm. What's different? So that worries me a little bit. Only from a personal perspective, not one of the general game itself. The idea of things being placeable now. Placeable farmhouse, a placeable barn, a placeable silo, a placeable animal areas. You know, it means we probably are going to have a place. We're probably going to have placeable BGA bunkers and silage, not BGA, but silage bunkers. So if you've got a map that that you're doing a lot of, you want to be doing a lot of silage work, and you don't feel that there's enough bunkers around, well, you can just place your own. Seems pretty cool. The ability now for the land to come up and meet the bunker, or meet the placeable, is also a really cool feature. Like this barn silo that's behind me. Got one that's got this huge concrete ramp and concrete block underneath of it in order to make it meet up with the land. And it just looks weird. But to have the ability for the placeable to have the land conform to its base, you put it down, that would be pretty interesting. They were able to design it such that it kind of did a smoothing effect of the land. Should just about top them off. Might have a little bit extra. If not, that'll get close enough that will be good. It's good enough. Oh, we just gotta get them some water. And we'll call it a video. And we'll be back in late autumn. Since in me doing a video on cultivation, I don't figure. Just going to be cultivating a field, right? Actually, we're going to use the Coon cultivator seeder combination. So we're going to cultivate and seed at the same time. Similar to what we did this spring with our wheat and barley. There's no need to use the culti plow because of the compaction mod. Look at our, there we go. Look at our compaction levels. Pretty much everything is at light compaction. Except for field 8. Field 8 is one that we haven't harvested yet. Got soybeans on it. So once we harvest that, it will be all pink. So we don't need to do any type of deep cultivation. But to work the ground up to relieve medium compaction, we just need to lightly turn the soil over to eliminate light compaction. Be able to use the Coon cultivator without any issue. So guys, I want to thank you for watching. Again, if you liked the video, please click the like button. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and think about subscribing. We are running down, are closing out the Rathlin Island series slowly but surely. We're going to play into the end of autumn, or end of spring next year. going into our third winter very soon. Remember, we started the series in the middle of winter and went through one full year. And we're going through our second full year at this point. We're going to go through 3 winters and 3 spring seasons. We started with 600 sheep before the first spring started. We're going to end somewhere north of 1,000 sheep. Let's see how much money we can make. It's got 1.6 million in the bank right now. Got all of our equipment. Remember, we started with our pickup truck, $3 million in the bank, and our service trailer. That's what we started with. All right, guys. So until next time, happy farming.